people are different. That's obvious. We all know that. And what we have found that affects the way organizations perform is that some people are like this natural garden. You see, there's a beauty in a natural garden. Things grow up and you let them bloom where they're planted. And there's a type of personality that feels that way. They throw off constraints. They want to be who they are, and it's frustrating to them to have to bloom where somebody else tells them to. And there's a beauty in this, but there's a completely different model. I call it the precision model. If you look at an orchestra, that's a very precise model of how you do things. There's one piece of music, one right note to play. You got one conductor, and everybody in there agrees for some period of time to give up their individuality to perform something that they could not perform by themselves. And you see the contrast between the natural garden, that has a certain beauty, and there's a certain thing you can accomplish with an orchestra that you could not accomplish any other way. And so part of the challenge in building an organization is recognizing you've got all these kinds of people, and you've got some things that need a precision model, and you've got some things that need the bloom where you're planted model, and they all need to work together. And so most of the time, a better model is more like this football example. Watch where these players' eyes are focused. You see what they're looking at? They're not looking at the music like the orchestra guys were. They're looking at the other player. And you notice, where is the play in this case? It's not on a sheet of music, it's in their head. This is more like the model most organizations operate in. Yes, there's a game plan, and then there's a play that's called in the huddle, and then you run the play, and everybody is expected to adjust and have the skill to know what's happening and how to adjust. This is much more realistic way organizations need to work. And so there is some system to this. The coaches have a system for calling plays. They have a numbering system for plays. So there's some amount of constraints here, and yet there's still individual skill in how to read a block and what to do about it. And so we use these three models to explain part of the challenge of building an organization that can execute. Let me close with this quote. Vision without systems thinking ends up painting lovely pictures of the future, but with no deep understanding of the forces that must be mastered to move from here to there. In summary, an excellence program provides an organized way to help people work together to get from here to there.